Ryan Williams and Kaylee Kurtz ahead of the Courage season opener tomorrow night against the Houston Dash. We'll have you both answer the first obvious question. If you could just speak to your excitement of getting through preseason and finally getting to play against somebody else in a game in front of people. Kaylee, you can start.
All right. Very excited. I love home openers. Apparently there's a lot of hype around this maybe being an attendance breaker for the home opener here at the Courage. So that's really exciting to see. We love having more people come. We love having the press around it and the excitement. So just having our name get out there more is very exciting. But then, preseason is a grind here, and it's nice that it's over. So getting into the nitty gritty of games is what it's all about. So
yeah, I'm obviously very excited too. Preseason was good this year. It was tough, but I felt like we had a really good preseason and went really steady, and every day just really focused on getting better and fine-tuning things. So I'm really excited about the group that we have, both on and off the field. I think hopefully we'll be very good this year, and just enjoy playing with each other, but also enjoying each other off the field.
I'm not going to use the word veteran, but I want you to think I'm calling you old. You two have now seen a lot of change through the roster over the last few years, and you guys have kind of been the steady rock that has kind of carried that last generation from the Sam Ewis's and the Justin McDonald's to now this new iteration of the team. So you are kind of some of those leaders that this team looks to. How has this preseason kind of highlighted that, and what have you seen from yourselves as leaders now with kind of a new team that's kind of looking to you two a bit more than maybe they had in years past?
Yeah. I think for us, just trying to keep the standard that we've always had at the Courage is really important to us. Personally, I've had to kind of work through some things as a leader on this team and somebody who's been here, and how I can help best and help the new girls and make them feel welcome, but also keep the standard. And I think it's a very fine balance between the two things. But yeah, I think that the group that has come in has been really eager to learn and get better. And I think that's made it really easy. And I think together we all just get along really well. And like I was saying, we just enjoy being around each other. So I think that's been really helpful in being a leader on the team.
Yeah. For me personally, as a center back, I already have to use my voice a lot. So I'm naturally one of the louder voices that you will hear in practice, and trying to continue to keep the standards high, like Ryan said, is something that we've always had here. And it was the standard when we were coming up through the ranks. And so now having that, like Ryan said, that balance of keeping the standards high, but not over pushing the youngsters. When we were coming through, we had a lot of mistakes. We had a lot to go through. We still make mistakes, but it's, giving them that grace to learn through it themselves, get through it, but also be this is an effort thing. We need to pick up the pace. So just that nice balance. And sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong. Still working through it myself.
Last question from the PR guy before I turn it over to other questions. But Sam Ewis is obviously back in town this weekend. Had a chance to see her last night at the dinner. Had a chance to have her at training today. She'll be honored with the Ring of Honor tomorrow. You two got a chance to be around her day in and day out. Just what does it mean from the player perspective, to have someone like Sam back here and recognize the way that she's being honored this weekend?
Yeah. I think Sam was, we in 2018, 2019, we had one of the most star-studded teams. You look around a roster, we had someone from every national team, everyone breaking into the starting 11. We had national team players sitting on the bench. It was just so jam-packed with amazing players. And then to have Sam be so humble and be brutally honest with us about how she felt after winning the World Cup, and being able to watch her grow and her evolution of her game, even in the 2 years that she was here, and we won championships. But then no matter what, at the airport, she would go grab a bag. And that was something that stood out to me from the get-go, was she wasn't bigger than anything that everyone else needed to do. She was I'll grab a bag. And sometimes she would carry two, and we're Sam, give me a bag. So she was just that kind of person, and it was just something that always stood out to me from the get-go.
Yeah. Just like KK said, obviously I feel so thankful to have been on a team with Sam, just from a soccer perspective, just because she was such an incredible player. And it was like KK said, in 2018, when I first got here, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so scared. It was very humbling, but like,
Yeah, deer in
Sam,
headlights.
yes, like just the talent on the team was so crazy. But when I think of Sam, I really like think about like kind of the way like she made newcomers feel, which is always like, there's that quote where it's like, you don't remember the things about a person, you remember like how they made you feel. And I feel like that's so true with Sam. It's like, I was talking to her last night and my mom was like, oh my God, like I remember when Sam emailed you when you got drafted to the Courage. And like, it's just so funny because I still have the email and like she emailed all the draft picks and it was just like, I was like, oh my God, like Sam Mewis emailed me. And then like when I got here, she was just like so kind and welcoming. And now she's just like, I mean, more of a friend than someone I'm scared of, but like she's just so fun and like there's just so many good qualities about Sam. So it's really been fun seeing her again and having her back at the Courage.
That's awesome. So I have your student email too. That's good.
Yeah.
Turn it over to
I think everybody knows that last year the defense was kind of the secret weapon of this team, right? Kelly, you had some personal recognition for the season that you had. Ryan, you continue to kind of establish yourself as someone who is a stalwart on back line. How do you both kind of build upon the success that you had last year? And are you going to be scoring hat tricks? Like, how are you going to build on what you did this year?
I mean, a hat trick would be lovely. A goal last year would have been lovely, but that didn't happen. So for me, it's like I wouldn't have gotten the accolade if she's not beside me. She covered me so many times if I did mess up. And Malia also like just has that such a calming presence when it comes to distribution that it keeps everyone else in the back line calm. And then I'm the voice that I think kind of puts it together and is like the glue. And so building off of that, it's just one, keep the standard that we had last year. We have very similar back line. So just continuing to be that glue, but then, if I can score a goal and help my team out, that'd be great. But there are still evolutions of my game that I want to increase, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut on those so that it's still a secret weapon.
Yes.
You were ripping some shots in there. I was wondering what you ate for breakfast.
Nothing. Some coffee.
You're hungry then.
Hungry for goals.
I am. Yes. Right.
I interrupted you.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, just kind of like KK said, I think we all work really well together. And then I think we just want to keep getting better. Like, I feel good about what we did last year, but I always think there's room for some things to improve. Obviously, Feely's new, so she's going to continue to work her way in to like kind of how we do things here, but it's been a good fit so far. I'm excited about her. And then I think just like continuing to organize what's in front of us and hopefully have a good impact on the game going forward.
You touched a little bit about your partnership with Malia. Obviously, a very new partnership last year. You're coming into year two with hopefully her still beside you. What are you hoping she develops in her game so that you two can continue that partnership for this year, 2024?
I'm like trying to think about her game, and like she's just like very solid already. She has so many attributes that I last year described her as like the yin to my yang. And now I think the best part is like I've learned so much from her and she's learned from me, and so we've come together as more of like similar, but still that yin and yang. If anything, it's working on like not always playing short, but that's also on me. We need to get good relationships with our forwards to figure out, like if teams are playing a high line, can we hit it over them? And then I don't know. I think Malia is a fantastic player. I don't have really anything that's like, you know what, this is glaringly obvious. You need to work on this. So for me, it's just like continuing to fine tune the small things that, you got to figure out. And like I don't have a bad thing to say about her. I feel like she's a phenomenal player.
Last year, I feel like you guys surprised a lot of people. There's trades and a lot of new young players and go all the way to playoffs. I mean, what's it like this year? Like a different dynamic, a lot of the core back, and maybe some increased expectations.
I mean, I think last year there was a lot of question marks just because of the trades that had happened. So I think this year we had a little bit more of a foundation to go off of from last year. So I think coming in, we were able to like kind of pick up where we left off in a way. Obviously, new players coming in, losing some players, but with keeping our most of our back line from the year before, I felt like it was really like kind of like, oh yeah, like, you know, like riding a bike, like
Yeah.
this, like we just did this. This is a little easier. So I feel like the pressure of that is a little less. But again, I mean, there's still things that we really want to work on and improve on. And I think that we are not satisfied. And this is just the first game. And from there, we're just going to keep looking forward and getting better.
Yeah. With the expansion draft, we obviously lost some pretty awesome, like almost veteran type leadership with Britt and Kate, and Tess wasn't much of a veteran, but she got a ton of minutes. So it's someone that like really knew our style, knew our system. I feel like there are almost more new faces this year for some reason, or maybe it's just I'm getting old and they're young, and the age gap's really starting to like be more glaringly obvious to me. But I think they have just adopted the Courage culture so quickly and so fast that it's been pretty seamless. And I think they're an eager bunch to learn and grow and evolve their own personal game. And I think it's been pretty awesome to see in such a short time how quickly they were able to pick up what it took us months last year.
Yeah.
So.
Any other questions? Tyler, anything via Zoom?
I'm good, thanks.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Best of luck
Thanks,
tomorrow.
guys.